Today I'm going to share my thoughts about few questions that I got on Instagram and YouTube comment section. Let's get into it. First question is about how to write a research proposal for a PhD position. Let me tell you my story. I did my master's in transportation engineering and I wanted to work in the field of data, particularly machine learning, AI, big data, these kind of things. But I had no exposure to this field. The kind of work that I did in my master's was far away from these things, which makes me a less credible person for PhD positions where I wanted to apply. What's the solution to it? Just skip those universities. So I skipped all of those universities where research proposal was required to apply for the position, because the last thing you can expect from a guy who has no exposure at all is writing a research proposal. Why I'm saying this? Because you need to have an in-depth knowledge of a field where you want to do the research in. Now I'm not saying you cannot learn the things, but it takes time, and I didn't have any time. I wanted to apply and get admission as soon as possible. So it depends. If you have time, if you're just in your first year of masters, better start reading research papers, get in touch with your professors or your seniors, and they will give you a very good idea about how to write a research proposal. And honestly, there are thousands of universities all around the globe. Even in US, you have thousands of universities. Even if you choose the good ones, like below 1,000 ranked, you have many options here, and you can definitely skip those universities if you want to, if you have the time constraints. Otherwise, if you have time, you can just start reading the research papers, find out the gaps in it, and then accordingly write your research proposal. So that's my thought. Second question is about, do we really need consultancies to apply for a PhD position or a master's position? Well, in this world of AI, there's nothing you cannot do in this today's world. You have ChatGPT with you. You can ask ChatGPT to write you a SOP. Now that SOP is not going to be perfect, definitely, but it's going to give you a base to start with, and then you can modify it and ask ChatGPT to refine it again. So I would say a strict no to the consultancies. And if you really have this much of extra money flowing out of your pocket and you really want to donate it to somebody, donate it to me. I can give you my bank details, and if you want me, I can write your SOP and emails and all. But I don't think you need a consultancy at all. Every single friend of mine from my bachelor's, from my master's, and every single student that I meet here in my university, nobody has taken any help from consultancy, yet they have done it on their own. And if they have done it, you can do it too. Third question was about, I'm not getting the replies back, what should I do? Well, you cannot do anything. You're thousands of miles away from the professor. All you can do is just send a follow-up email. Usually I used to wait for 2 weeks, and if I don't get a reply back, I used to send a follow-up email. Then wait again for 3 days and then send second follow-up email. And if I still don't get the reply after the second follow-up email, I used to put that professor on hold and move on to the next professor. That's why I say, from each department, from each university, at least select 3 professors so that you have a backup professor also available with you all the time. Fourth question was about TA and RA. What is the difference and which one is better? Now, TA is teaching assistant. The job of a teaching assistant is to assist the professor in their teaching proceedings, grading the assignments, grading the exam, taking the labs, taking the tutorial sessions. So this is the kind of a job that you do for the professor, and you get paid for that. Parallelly, you have to do your research also. In RA, it's research assistant. So every professor have a lab here, and every lab have some projects that needs to be done. For those projects, they hire RA. You being a PhD student can be hired as a RA. Not only PhD, a master's student can also become an RA, and there are certain benefits of becoming an RA. So benefit with RA is, while doing your project work, you can also extend that to your PhD work, or make it your research work. So it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So if you're a master's student, you can also look for RA positions and start contacting the professors once you enter a university, and a professor can offer you RA position and you can start working in a project. And this is something to boast about in your resume. The benefit with RA, if you're in masters, is that your tuition fees is going to be paid like somewhere around 50%, and you also get stipend that's similar to what a PhD student gets. Fourth question is about estimated cost of PhD process. Well, I'm from India. I can tell you about my expenses. So your service fees is around 30,000, and then you have your visa fees that's around 15,000. I'm overestimating everything just to be on a safer side. Then you at least should keep around 1 lakh rupees for I would say the tickets. You can get a cheaper ticket, no doubt. You can get it for like 50,000, 60,000 also, but to be on a safe side, at least 1 lakh. And then after coming to US, you need to carry with you at least 1 month of expense that include your rent, your security money, 1 month grocery expenses, and a little bit of money for your mattress, pillow, and blanket that you're going to buy here. And if you're okay sleeping on a floor, it's up to you. So I would say anywhere between 2 to 2.5 lakh. That's what my estimated cost is. That includes the shopping thing also. I mean, obviously before coming here, you'll be doing some shopping, buying some utensils, some clothes and all. Everything included, it's going to be around 2.5 lakh. And disclaimer is, I have overestimated everything. So you can do the math on your own. The last question is, do we need a research paper to get into a PhD? Well, that's a very subjective question. That depends on the professor, what he is looking for. But if you have it, that's a good thing. If you don't have it, you don't have to feel bad, because even I didn't have a research paper published somewhere. Now there's a difference. The difference is, if you have written a paper and you have submitted it somewhere, you can just mention that in your CV that you have submitted this and this paper in this and this journal and it is under review, which is also a credible thing because you at least have written something, and that shows the professor that you are capable enough to write a research paper on your own. In my interview, they asked me about walk us through the process of writing a research paper. So I told them like the first step is to create an outline of the paper. Then I used to add some subheadings and the bullet points of what I'm going to write in those subheadings. So they're just looking for people who know how to do the things. So I would say if you have time, you still have time. If you're in first year of masters and you are serious about PhD, better start writing a paper. Doesn't matter if it's submitted or even getting accepted in a journal or not, doesn't matter at all. You need that thing to be mentioned in your resume, in your CV, and you can send that as a writing sample to professor, because sometimes professor asks for a writing sample and that can act as a writing sample for you. So if you are in your first year or you still have time, start writing a paper and just submit it in any journal, a good journal definitely, but any journal of your choice, and then just mention that in your resume or CV that you have written this paper, submitted in this journal, under review, and that's good enough. That's all, guys. I just addressed 4 or 5 questions, but if you have any questions, any doubts related to PhD process or master's process, based on my knowledge base, I'll try to answer them. And if I don't have the answers of those questions, I'll try to find the answers for you guys. So if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments down below, or you can send me text on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you want. I'm available on every social media platform. You can reach out to me from any platform of your choice, and I'll try to answer those questions. That's it. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.